Life is 10 times harder when you're trying to do something when you feel like rubbish. And I know you hear lots of advice on people saying push through the pain, do it when you don't want to, do it when you don't feel like it, and so on and so forth. And that's all well and good. And yeah, sometimes you might have to do that. However, that shouldn't be a consistent thing. Because if you're always feeling pretty tired, feeling a bit flat, feeling a bit inflamed or brain fog, that's not right. Like it shouldn't be like that. And I know a couple of years ago when I was trying to sort of build on the business I was working on at the time, but even just trying to, learn skills and so on and so forth, I just felt a bit flat, right? I mean, I had lots of brain fog at the time. I was having loads of carbs, which carbs for me, especially processed carbs, like rice and pasta, which aren't that bad, but I had quite a bit of those, really caused an impact and made it very difficult for me to actually sit there and focus. And looking back, it's like I really didn't get a crazy amount done. And yeah, sure, I turned up somewhat consistently to it, but I didn't really get much work done, and the work I was doing wasn't really that focused. And so at the time, obviously, I was thinking, well, how can I improve my deep work? How can I focus for longer and so on and so forth? And I spent a lot of time looking at lots of those videos, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I just think like there's no amount of productivity and mindset sort of techniques that is going to make things more easy for you in terms of getting stuff done and working on the things you want to work on, like compared to focusing on what you're taking in, right? What you're taking in digitally, of course, but physically as well. Because I know plenty of guys, I see plenty of guys, for example, my age, which, are having Monster Energy. They're, going out and having this fast food stuff. And it's like, there's no kidding that you feel lethargic. There's no kidding that you just don't want to do anything and you can't be bothered to do things. That's not just being lazy. And that's what I attributed a lot of myself to a couple of years back. I thought, oh, I'm just so lazy, right? Like I sort of want to do these things, but I can't be bothered. That to me at the time was laziness, but I know now that it wasn't laziness, right? I had good intentions. And I know so many other guys that do have good intentions, but they just can't muster up the energy and the ability to do that. And I'm not saying, hey, you fix your diet and all your problems go away. But what I am saying is that when I changed what I was taking in, right? Which I was just literally, which now I'm eating animal based. I'm eating so much cleaner, right? I'm just eating, meat, animal products, sort of fruits, eggs, whatever. I feel so much cleaner. I have so much more mental clarity. And that made a big difference because now I look at my life now compared to a couple of years ago and I realize like I wasn't actually lazy, right? Or perhaps as lazy as I thought I was. It was just that, I just didn't really have as much energy as I did before. I didn't have enough mental clarity. Back then I had lots of brain fog. Now I don't, right? It's like because I'm controlling those inputs a lot better, I'm eating a lot cleaner. The stuff that's going into my body is far more natural than the stuff I was eating before. And that was the key thing because now I realize, well, I mean, I don't really have many, you know, productivity things or techniques or anything at the moment because I feel good, right? I have the energy, I have the mental clarity, and so I can work on the things that are meaningful to me, like making content, developing video games, whatever it might be. And so I'd really get yourself to ask yourself some questions about how it is that you feel on a day to day basis. Because if you feel tired, lethargic, brain fog, perhaps you call yourself lazy a lot of the times. That might not be the case. And I don't want you to feel as if that is the case. I think one of the things that really helped me, which might help you as well, is really take a look at the stuff you're taking in, right? The stuff you're eating, the stuff you're drinking. What ingredients does it have in it? Is it actually natural to your body? What does it do to your body? Because I found a lot of these things really just made me feel rubbish afterwards. And at the time, I almost felt like that was normal. It's like, okay, you eat some food, you feel a bit, stuffed afterward, that's fine. But that wasn't the case because I eat food now and afterwards I actually feel pretty good. And that's a really big difference. So really ask yourself those questions and really consider what it is that you're putting into your body. Because I don't think most guys are lazy. I think most guys are just taking in stuff and eating things and drinking things that are making them feel lazy. meaning that they can't work on the things that are more meaningful to them. So consider that, ask those questions, and I'll catch you soon.